Welcome to Briz Productions.
Γεια σου, καλησπέρα. Καλώς ήρθατε στο Briz Productions. We are here once again at St. Bernard's Fruit and Veg. Guys, I'm joined with Australia's funniest comedians and actors, and one of the first ever to bring up stand-up comedy of woke ethnic humour. It's George Kapiniaris. Γεια σου, mate.
Yes, everybody. Good to be here at St. Bernard's, shooting an ad for them, but doing an interview with you before I do a show later on tonight, which is going to be the usual Dago show. Oh, I'm so tired. I need a coffee. Coffee, somebody, coffee. Coffee.
Oh, here he comes.
All I have to say is coffee, and look, I've got my phone. But thank you very much.
Very good.
That's how good they are at St. Bernard's.
There, mate. That's what we're all about.
And at Briz Productions.
Oh, how can
You
you?
were from Brisbane.
Oh, really?
I'm going, why is that guy come all the way down from Brisbane for our show, but you're from here?
Yes.
It's just called Briz Productions.
Briz Productions, yes. Mate, oh, there's a very good coffee right there. Anyways, mate, I just want to start, before we get into any of some of the exciting stuff in your career, I just want to say, where did it all begin for you in the whole acting world and stand-up comedy world, mate?
Where did I start?
From George Kapiniaris, where did it all begin for you, my friend?
So me, kid at high school, even primary school, I was always involved in the school plays, putting on productions, you know, performing in front of the class, getting kicked out of the classroom for being a smart ass.
What about in front of your mother? Would she go crazy about you if you?
Well, I went to Greece with my mum when I was a 6-year-old boy for the first time, and I was entertaining a train of Greeks. I had this image coming down from Katerini to Kalamata, and I was entertaining a train of Greeks. Mind you, I never really went to Greek school yet, so how I did that, I don't know, but I just have this image of me being surrounded by all these Greek people on a train and entertaining them. That was my first stand-up gig, I think.
Bravo.
Primary school, high school, of course. I did drama with my teacher, Kate Donnellan, who steered me in the right direction. And she suggested I go to a place called Rusden, which is now called Victoria College or Deakin University, where I studied drama, teaching and performing. I wasn't very good at the teaching side of things, so I'm glad I got into the performance side of things. And that was because of a mate of mine that was there called Simon Palomares.
Legendary Espanol.
Yeah, Giannopoulos was there too, but he was in a year before me. I was in a class with Simon. We teamed up. We put together an act called the Tibaldi Brothers.
Shoot the pasta! Hey, give me head! Give me head! Hey!
How are you tonight? Good? Yeah. How are you? I'm Mado Tibaldi.
I'm Sergio Tibaldi.
Any Italians here tonight? Any Italians?
I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable.
Hang on.
Ciao.
We're just gonna make ourselves at home here. Excuse me.
More at home.
Here we go.
Hello! Black and white! Black and white!
Juventus! Juventus!
Anyway, we did some shows as part of a big production at drama school. But then when we finished, it was time to get a job. So,
Job? I would have loved you as my Greek school teacher if I had the chance.
yeah, but I taught drama, not Greek school.
Oh, same thing. Drama, I would have been having with you.
Terrible teacher, terrible. And I only did emergency teaching. That's all I did.
Oh my
By
gosh.
the way, Simon suggested to me, he goes, you know, why don't we do some tryouts? Because he was already doing comedy at the different comedy venues. Why don't we do a double act? You know, the Tibaldi Brothers. We can do that. So we did 1 or 2 at La Joke and, you know, and then the Last Laugh, the Dick Whittington Tavern, all these different venues. Within a month, we had a season at the Comedy Cafe, Tibaldi Brothers show, which we had to write all by ourselves. It was called Worry Beads and Fairy Dice. And that's where my style of humour was born, for me. I mean, I went to see performers like Vince Sorrenti perform and, you know, different comedians. But for me, doing my type of humour, it started with the Tibaldi Brothers.
That's amazing. And yeah, so just as you said, that you used Simon, you know, created I would say like a huge empire back in those days.
Well, look, we started off and we got a following, but it was like a cult following. And we went on Star Search, and then we went interstate and we did a show at the Comedy Works here in Adelaide. We did a show at, you know, different venues in Sydney. We got reviews and people were saying ethnic comedy arrives at last. And we went, oh, that's what we do, ethnic comedy. We were just doing stuff that makes us laugh, you know. So that's what we did, you know. And then because I studied drama, I really wanted to get into film and TV and theatre. So that was my ambition. You know, comedy was one thing I did on the side just to make some money, like a hobby. I wasn't even really into stand-up comedy. And now it's my job. But then I wasn't really into it. And we met Nick Giannopoulos. He used to come to all our shows, like a bit of a groupie. Him and Mary Koustas, they come to check out our shows.
Oh my God, ever see my cousin Jim? Is he here?
I leave my cousin here, my cousin Jim is here.
Yeah, she didn't talk like that then.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Mary Koustas, how are you? Anyway, they'd chat to us. Little did we know that they were even going to be performers themselves. And Nick met us at the Black Cat restaurant in Brunswick Street one day. Myself and Simon said, I've got a great idea for a show. It's called Wow. And we went, what's Wow? A wog's out of work, you know, because us wogs were all out of work. I said to him, mate, I'm not out of work. Anyway, and I wasn't, because I was asked to be in a TV show called The Flying Doctors.
Oh, that's right.
So I went off and did the TV show where Simon and Nick were supposed to put a show together called Wogs Out of Work. Originally it was going to be a wedding show, like Dimboola. But that didn't happen. Anyway, they got another girl on board who was Maria Portesi, an Italian girl, not Mary Koustas, Maria Portesi. And they put her in these late shows called Wogs Out of Work. And from something that was on at 10:30 at night, it developed its own little cult following. Using my material that I worked with Simon and a bit of theirs, it basically struck a chord with the mainstream, and all of a sudden they were getting packed houses. Meanwhile, I was on TV, they were making money, I was on TV. Anyway,
So,
you know, I'm not sure. Later on, they invited me to come on board.
that's amazing. And as we all know, that made everything happen was, of course, the Acropolis Now. Now, how did that come about? Was that just...
So I was doing the Flying Doctors with Crawford's. So the big producer, Hector Crawford, they approached me and they said, we know you're associated with these guys that are doing Wogs Out of Work. We're thinking of doing a TV show based on that sort of humour. We don't know why it's funny, but we know that a lot of people like it. So would you be interested? So I talked to Nick and Simon, and we came up. It was going to be all... First up was going to be a sketch show, like the Comedy Company. It was going to be like an ethnic comedy company. But then we thought, you know, we love sitcoms, you know. Then it was Cheers and Happy Days and all those sort of sitcoms. Why don't we do a sitcom? And we came up with the idea for a script. And then they said, oh, OK, well, you guys go away and write it. And we said, oh, write a TV show. And they've gone, don't worry, you write it. We'll give you a script writer. We'll give you we'll give you an editor, whatever. We'll make it happen. So that's when we came up with Acropolis Now. Originally it was going to be called The Wog Bar.
The Wog.
But the BBC, who normally gets a lot of the Australian shows, went, you can't use that title. In England, that's fighting words. That's, you know, so you can't, we won't take it if you're going to call it that. So we called it Acropolis Now.
Don't worry about me, Daddy. Well, I've just got to make you see. You know I'm gonna miss you. I'll make you proud of me. If you've got problems on your mind, you can leave them all behind. Oh, it's a sweet life.
That's amazing. And it's just, people may not know this, but last year was the 30th anniversary of the show. And I'm surprised that no other, you know, TV network, Channel 7, did not do nothing about the anniversary of this magnificent show that changed the way we see today. Luckily, Briz Productions, on the other hand, we did a good podcast about the 30th anniversary, just how it all started about. And I took a trip last year to Fitzroy, Melbourne, to go see the original cafe itself on the outside and go down that alley.
That's right. Well, and I think it was the highest rating show at the time. So it was doing really, really well. But I think what happened, and I don't know if we talked about this on your podcast, but Channel 7 wanted to do a new show called Newlyweds with Christopher Gabbardi, and I think Lisa McCune might have been in it. I think it was the two of them. And so something had to go. So they got rid of our show. They got rid of the ethnic show to put the Aussie show. Mind you, Chris Gabbardi's Italian.
And this is what happens when you put on an ethnic show. Let me tell you, these guys were successful, made it the highest TV show in this country, and look what happened.
They got rid of it.
I cannot imagine how the last episode would have been. Jim not getting married. I would imagine him, you know, starting a whole new life. I wanted to see what Memo looked like all those years later.
Like this.
And obviously have a good Australian accent, of course, instead of, yes, stupid!
I don't think he would have lost the accent.
Oh, very, very.
He still would have been.
I call him Skippy the Bush Kangaroo.
You know what we're doing here today?
Yes.
We're shooting and Acropolis Now, St Bernard's at.
That's correct.
So I'm going to be playing the three main characters. I don't know how, and I'm going to do it really fast. So you got to shoot it because it's just going to look funny. Just me changing from one costume to the next.
You're going to have to get me as Ricky because look at me. I've gained at least 20 kilos.
With a Spanish accent. Hola.
Hola, señorita.
Less.
Or better with this. Or no, Irish mate. Most of the blokes up there were Greeks and eye ties.
Simon Palmaris came to Australia when he was 10 years of age from Spain. So he still had that accent. So one day he came up to me when we were, rehearsing for the show, and he said, "How's my pronunciation?" And I said, "What?" He went, forget it.
But now we're going to get outside of your magnificent show to a very particular, character everyone may know. Yeah. Fat Pizza's one and only Ronnie McDoggle, my friend.
McDoggle.
Oh, McDoggle, sorry.
McDoggle, Ronnie McDoggle, yeah. He's Greek. His name's really Spiro.
That's true.
And in the movie he says to Paulie, "What do you want me to call it? McSpiros."
Hello there, my lucker. Look what you did to my macar. You What are you supposed to be, mate? What, Ronnie McDoggle?
Mate, what's with the ethnic accent? Everyone knows he's a Scottish-American man.
Why do you think I have the most successful franchise in the world, you suck-ass?
Oh, tell me, Max Stooge.
Because I'm a Greek, and Greeks are the champions of takeaway. Oh, what do you think I'm going to call the business? McSpiros? Oh, stop.
Oh, you want to laugh, do you?
No, I'm cracking up. Oh, you're giving me a McStitch.
So I'm like, where did this character come from? Did Paulie just come up to you and say, "Hey, listen, I'm going to do a TV show"?
Had a Ronnie McDoggle in one of the series, but it was an Aussie guy. He looked like a hippie or something. He was like some leftist green guy. So he wasn't wrong. Yeah, he was actually like the Joker in the new Joker movie. He was a bit like that. So when he put the movie together, I think before he put the movie together, we did an Acropolis Now live, and he got me to play Ronald McDoggle in that. So we had a karate scene that we did on flying, on wires and stuff. So we'd already rehearsed the scene. So when it came to the movie, it was easy doing the scene, the famous scene with the fighting conference and all that sort of stuff. And just recently he asked me to do it again in the latest series.
Yep, I was watching that. Let me tell you.
And that was after I just got back from Greece and broke my collarbone. After that, and I said to Paulie, "Look, I'll do it, but I can't do any fighting scenes because I've just broken my collarbone. I've got to be careful." He goes, "No, you'll be right." So I pick up the script. First scene, chainsaw. Second scene, I'm in a gutter, pretending to be the guy from It. Next scene, I choke someone in a cab.
Listen, mate, I got a bit of kids now because of that malaka.
That's right.
That's crazy. But
me.
Oh my God, I love to see that big fuzzy hair, the makeup.
We're doing another one.
Exactly. Yes. That's Paulie did mention that a couple of days ago.
Can't tell you what's in it, but we are doing a second series.
Very good.
I don't know what's in it. That's why I can't tell you. But
he'll tell the Greek first, then tell everybody else. Yeah. He tells the Greeks first, then everybody around. Yeah. Anyway, though, but mate, you are here in Adelaide for another. Well, besides of the usual Dago show you got happening tonight, you are also here for the night out of. Wait, what's it called again?
So there's a famous Queen's album. Yeah. You know what an album is, don't you?
Yeah, it's like
collection.
I grew up in the 90s.
All right, okay. Called A Night at the Opera.
The what? The night at the
opera. So Gab Rossi and myself have put together a show, and we've called it A Night at the Wopera. So it's got the W in front of the opera.
The Wopera.
WOG opera. It's a WOG musical stand-up show, and we can't use the word WOG anymore because apparently one of my old mates has got a trademark on that word. So we went, instead of a WOG opera, we're going to call it a Wopera. Which sounds better anyway.
It does, yes.
So yeah, it's going to be on at the Fringe, Adelaide Fringe, the 3rd to the 13th of March at the Rhino Room.
The Comedy Central of Adelaide, the beautiful Rhino Room.
Yeah, so we're in the Drama Llama room sometimes, we're in the main room sometimes, but we're there. So you'll find us. You book your tickets if you want a ticket because the tickets are starting to sell.
You won't regret it, let me tell you. I've seen this guy perform for over nearly 10 years since I was a kid. My mum brought me, and let me tell you, I have not stopped looking at this guy, let me tell you.
What I'm doing tonight in Dago, I won't be doing in the Wopera. It's going to be a totally different show.
Remember, different.
Different. Sign, different.
Before we go, mate, I like to say my friend of mine who I currently work with, he's in his 50s right now, and he loves you so much. Would you mind just saying, hello, Sammy, you big stupid?
Hello, Sammy, you big stupid. Did that distort? Stupid.
That's amazing. But guys, thanks once again to George Kapiniaris, the legend himself. Thank you so much. Yes, no worries, mate. And we're going to have some tomatoes to celebrate. This is Briz Productions, and we are out. If you'd like to check more videos here on Briz Productions, why not check some of the videos that are currently right here, right now. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the videos with any of your mates in particular. I'm Briz, and see you next time.